Welcome back to another episode of RecNation. This week it's a continuation of last week's trail ride on the F800. This time we're riding at dusk. We got some pretty good views of the sunset as we cruise along the trails. Riding at night on a snowmobile can be fun and exhilarating. It adds a different aspect to snowmobile riding. The way the headlights hit the trail make it a little more difficult to see bumps or imperfections in the trail that are coming up. Makes you ride a little more cautious and aware. Conversely, though, it does help a little bit with safety. You can see the headlights of snowmobiles coming at you before they get on you, so it does help on that aspect. We're riding in Wapaka County in central Wisconsin here, and there's quite the deer population in that county, so you always got to be mindful of deer when you're on the snowmobile trails. They will run out in front of you just like they would in a car. They hear the noise of the snowmobile, get confused and or scared, and they'll run right across the trail. And we'll see that later on in the video that there's a deer out there, and they run across the trail in front of me. We didn't get too many miles on this day. You can see the trails weren't in the best condition. We got a few inches of snowfall, but it was a little warm, so some of it had melted off, and there was open patches on the fields. In here you can see that I was slowing down a little bit through some of these rough patches, and my brother decided to go ahead and pass and ride a little faster. And shortly after he passes, and then my nephew says, I think I'm going to go ahead and pass too. So there they both go off into the distance, cruising over all this rough, choppy cornfield. But here you can look in the distance and see the nice, beautiful sunset going down. It was a nice, crisp evening as we were riding. Temperatures here were in the lower 20s, like down around 22 degrees, which is perfect riding weather. It's not too cold, not too hot. The wind was mild, so we didn't have to worry about the wind really. And here you can see the deer that run across the trail in front of me. There was a group of about 15 or so on the right-hand side, and there was about 4 that decided to run across the trail. The coldest weather I ever rode in, I was up in Eagle River with a group of friends, and we were riding, and air temperature was a negative 25 degrees with a 45 below wind chill. It was a pretty cold morning, but it warmed up throughout the day, and so we stopped for breakfast, and by the time we got out of breakfast, we were warmed back up and ready to ride again. So, all in all, that was a fun day. As fun as snowmobiling is, it's also a very dangerous sport. So you always got to be mindful of trail conditions, what's in front of you, if there's any bumps or dips, or maybe rocks or tree stumps or something sticking up out of the trail that you don't see. Especially going through the woods like this here, you gotta be careful what's around the corners and mindful of the trees that are there. It happens on a regular occasion, unfortunately, that someone is severely injured or they die in a snowmobile accident. Every year there's numerous deaths on snowmobiles here in Wisconsin, as well as the UP of Michigan, where the majority of snowmobile riders go to ride. I've been riding snowmobiles for about 20 years now. I've been all over the state of Wisconsin. Did one mountain trip out to Colorado, and there's been a few close calls that I've had while I was riding, either myself or someone in the group. And it starts off as a fun day. Everyone's just out having fun, and it just takes one minor incident or one minor miscalculation or mishap, and the day turns from fun to not fun in a real hurry. My recommendations, if you're out snowmobiling, if you're new to snowmobiling, even if you've been on a snowmobile for a while, is Always ride within your skill level. If you're riding with someone that's faster in the group, let them go their own pace. Beforehand, just everyone kind of make the rule that you'll wait for each other at intersections, and make sure the group sticks together. And then check on your fellow riders every once in a while. Make sure that the group hasn't fallen apart or that everyone's riding safe. If someone's riding unsafe, speak up and say, hey, that's not riding safe, and that's not what we're about. The main point of riding trails or going on a snowmobile is to have fun and enjoy the day. And at the end of the day, you want to make sure everyone arrives back at home or back at the motel or wherever your final destination is. You want to get there safely. I'll pause the commentary for a few minutes and let you guys listen to the two-stroke go. The reason I bring up snowmobile safety is towards the end of this ride, my nephew made a mistake. It wasn't really severe, but it could have been worse than how it turned out. We'll show that on the video here in a minute, but what had happened is we'd got to a road crossing, and as he pulled up on the road, he stayed too close to the ditch, got one of his skis kind of stuck in the edge of the snow on the edge of the road, and it sucked him into the ditch line. And once you start going down into the ditch, the momentum of the snowmobile and gravity will just kind of pull you down deeper into the ditch. Unless you have some advanced skills where you're good at side hilling or controlling your body momentum, where you can get off to the side of the snowmobile and get it up and side hill your way out of that. Most people are not that advanced on their riding technique, and what happens is they just keep getting sucked deeper and deeper into the ditch. If there happens to be any kind of obstacles in there, such as a tree or a fence post or a fence, you end up running right into it. In this case, he got sucked into the ditch and ended up running right into a large shrub. Again, it was pretty minor. He wasn't hurt. We had to stop and get the snowmobile dug out of the snow, get it turned around in the right direction. Then my brother was able to get on there and get it going and ride it up out of the deeper snow that was in the ditch, and we were able to continue on our way. So here you can see my brother got the snowmobile out of the ditch. We got back on the trails again and continued on our way. Thanks for watching this episode of RecNation. Join us again next week. Have a good day.